Okay, so let's talk about being late. We all tend to write it off as, just a bad habit, maybe a little rude, but what if it's not that simple? What if being late is actually a clue, a message from our own brains about what's really going on inside? Today, we are going to decode the surprising psychology behind why some of us just can't seem to show up on time.
You know the drill, right? You made plans for 6, you look at the clock, it's 6:43. And then your phone buzzes. It's that classic, infamous text from your friend, leaving now.
And we all know what that really means, don't we? It's a secret code that translates to, I am currently one with the couch, and shoes are at best a theoretical concept.
Come on, let's be honest. As I'm saying this, either a very specific person's face just popped into your head, or you felt that little pang of, oh, that's me. And hey, if it's you, you're in exactly the right place. Seriously? No judgment here. Think of this as an investigation, not an intervention.
Because here's the absolute truth of it. Being chronically late, it is almost never about a broken watch or bad time management. It's about the fascinating, and sometimes super frustrating, wiring of our own minds.
And what's really wild is that not all late people are late for the same reason. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Psychologists have actually identified 3 main archetypes. So let's meet the cast, shall we? And see who sounds a little familiar.
All right, first up, we have the magical thinker. Now, this person isn't lying to you when they say they have plenty of time. They're telling their own version of the truth, a truth that exists inside a beautiful bubble of pure, uncut optimism. They are, in fact, lying to themselves.
So their brain runs on this cognitive bias called the planning fallacy. It is a fantastic little glitch where you are 100% convinced that a task will take way less time than it has literally every single time before. All past evidence, every traffic jam, every lost set of keys, it just gets vaporized by the beautiful, irrational hope that this time will be different.
And this is how their brain does math. It's a work of art, really. It's this perfect, best-case scenario timeline where keys are always where you left them, traffic has ceased to exist, and a 5-minute drive actually takes 5 minutes. It's not a plan. It's a screenplay for a fantasy movie. Which, of course, brings us to their famous catchphrase, always delivered with total, genuine shock. Because in their world, they did leave on time. It's the rest of us, and the fundamental laws of physics that failed to cooperate with their flawless schedule.
Okay, next up, let's meet our second type, the secret dreader. For this person, lateness has absolutely nothing to do with optimism. It is an act of quiet, subconscious protest.
This is just classic avoidance behavior. See, on the surface, they've said yes, they've committed, but deep down, their mind is staging a full-on rebellion, inventing any obstacle it can to delay the thing they secretly really don't want to do. Lateness isn't the problem, it's the symptom. And this protest, it shows up as these sudden, urgent, last-minute roadblocks, a mysterious wave of exhaustion, an overwhelming need to finally answer that one email. Or, my personal favorite, the sudden urge to organize a junk drawer. They're not just being flaky. Their lateness is a huge red flag pointing to a deeper discomfort. I mean, think about your own life for a second. Are you perfectly on time, maybe even early for a flight to a vacation, but you're consistently 20 minutes late to your family dinner on Sunday? That is not a coincidence. That's your brain sending you a very, very loud signal about what fills your cup and what drains it. And that brings us to our final and maybe most fascinating profile, the main character. For this person, being late isn't an accident. It's kind of the point. It serves a hidden emotional purpose. See, it all boils down to this psychological concept called perceived social value. Deep down, there's this unwritten rule in their head that says important people are busy. Important people are waited for. The people who wait are less important. So being late becomes this subtle, maybe even unconscious way to boost their own sense of value. Now, let's be super clear. They don't walk around consciously thinking, I am more important than everyone else. It's not that simple. It's more that their behavior is driven by a subconscious need for their life to feel a little more cinematic. Their arrival isn't just an event, it's a scene, it's the entrance. And this is the reward. That tiny little ripple that goes through the room when they finally walk in, the heads that turn, the conversations that pause for just a second, that brief moment of being the center of attention, that's the psychological payoff that keeps the whole cycle going. So, there we have it.
We've met the eternal optimist, the quiet protester, and the star of the show. Now let's bring it all home and maybe turn that spotlight inward for just a second.
As you can see right here, it's pretty clear. Each type has a story they tell themselves to make it all make sense. The magical thinker says, I have plenty of time. The secret dreader sighs, I'm just so disorganized. And the main character shrugs, it's not a big deal. But underneath every one of those excuses is a much realer, much deeper psychological driver.
So the big question is, which one just made you go, oof? Are you the one who truly believes in time-bending miracles? The one whose body literally slows down when you have to go somewhere you dread? Or maybe, just maybe, the one who kind of likes the feeling of everyone noticing when you've arrived?
And really, be honest with yourself. This is totally a safe space, because figuring out the why behind the habit is the only real way to change it. And knowing yourself, that's a superpower.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if your lateness isn't just a flaw you need to fix? What if it's a message? A message from your subconscious trying to tell you something important about what you're running from, what you secretly crave, or the impossible pressure you put on yourself. What is your lateness trying to tell you?